This is what the developer mentioned on their official channel on X website. As you can see here, I highlighted the part. We still want you to be able to break the game, and you absolutely still can, but Stendhal was making it a bit too easy. Now, of course, all over the place, you're going to find comments, maybe in this comment section here is on this channel as well. The people mention it's a single player game, who cares? It's not like co-op, or it's not competitive. Yeah, now, although true, again, you can decide even not to use a weapon yourself if it's too strong, but you need to understand that for many players, when they put their hands on a very powerful ability, why should they want to switch? I mean, they are searching, the whole idea is becoming powerful in the game, and they start searching for different ways to do it. And once they get their hands on this one, why go into a situation where you think about, well, how I can make myself less powerful in the game? And you need to understand, for many people this is going to be all right. It's so powerful, it makes things easy. They're just going to go with it. They won't change. Many just will stick with it throughout the game. Of course, they're going to be exception, but I think that the majority of people, once they get their hands on very powerful skill, it will, let's say, at least be in their arsenal. It's going to be there for them to use. It's going to be triggered for them to use, especially if they're struggling, or if they get, for example, they want to play maybe New Game Plus, or fighting a very tough boss fight. They won't tell themselves, all right, I have very strong, powerful skill. Now I'm going to find something that is less powerful to use it in order to challenge myself. Probably the majority won't actually do that, but there are of course exceptions where people say, all right, this is just broken, I won't even use it anyway. And I can definitely agree with you. I used it and it's just so powerful that it just it doesn't take long for you to realize that you can just one hit with this relatively fast with a certain build. But when I went to New Game Plus, in certain situations, when I fought, for example, when I fought Golgra, I fought her for a relatively long time with a regular build, not that powerful, and a finisher. I was actually really enjoying I felt great when I actually was able to finish this fight without something that feels broken. But after that, in New Game Plus, I was farming for a material. I didn't care because, again, you already have so many powerful abilities that when you get to New Game Plus, it really doesn't matter if you use Stendhal or it takes you just a few hits to use something else. So I just make it faster and just farming for certain material, certain drops. The perfect chroma crystal that allows you basically to upgrade your weapons to level 33, and you can actually farm this place and you have high chance to actually get one. But I can definitely understand the developer's point of view when you have something broken like that people will actually wouldn't want to change it, and we stick with it because it's just so powerful that they won't actually some won't actually get to a point where they can really experience the game as it was meant to be played. Now, there are difficulties, of course, you can change, but this is just not that. This is something that's completely broken, because you can just one hit the toughest bosses with ease. You don't get even in story mode to enjoy some challenge and have a great feeling of actually finishing a fight. It doesn't become anything tactical or strategic fight. It just becomes just nothing. You just go one-shot enemies and bye-bye. So there will be many players who just go the easy route and that's it. And they will miss part of the fun of the game because they just can't put it aside because it's already available for them. Now, I also want to mention that because the game has some kind of, when it comes to dodging and parrying, and those who love turn-based games are going to find it a bit challenging and difficult. So if they found this and read about this, they're going to go to the easier route, just to ease the challenge. When I play the game, I'm playing various difficulties just to test it out, and now I'm playing on the hardest difficulty because I really like the parry timing. It reminds me of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, rather than the very large timing window that I have when I play on story mode. But there will always be those who are playing just for the story, yeah. Believe it or not, there are many players who just want to experience the story and don't want the game to be difficult, or those who don't have a lot of time to play a game and they're really more into the story and something more casual gameplay. So for them, having something like that is actually a bliss because, all right, actually that's what they want. And some actually, and I read people's comment, some people, when they play on story mode, think that the game is hard. So for them, having something like that, it's just kind of a built-in easy mode. Let's say it's not even story mode, it's like God mode in the game. We can just follow through, enjoy good combat here and there, and follow the story. So in that aspect, I don't think that having something like that was actually a bad thing, because for a group of players, this can be actually something really good. Now, I also want to mention, it's not just the skill, the Stendhal skill, it's also a combination of both the Stendhal and a weapon, one of the weapon that actually makes you start with virtual stand. They give you 20% extra damage. Sorry, I'm just testing the Glacium, but I just want to show you that, where is it? Yeah, the medallion, right? This one is just crazy powerful. The combination of this one and the Stendhal, and with certain pictos that complement this build, just makes you just one-shot bosses, even the toughest ones. So if you reach hundreds of millions, even billions of damage, I mean, what's the point, right? And I think those who actually just stick with one weapon, I'm telling you, are missing out. There's so many amazing weapons and different builds you can actually enjoy with. That's just missing a great deal of, you know, experimenting with different weapons to really have fun with what this game offers in terms of different mechanics. There's so many luminas you can use and create some stuff. This is just what makes the game so much fun. And I can tell you, when I switch and use the Stendhal and of course with another very powerful build, I really didn't enjoy the game as much. It felt like, okay, what I'm actually doing here, just one-tapping bosses. It's like I'm having a god mode and just, you know, it wasn't fun anymore. And I didn't actually read about it, I just discovered it because I started using it. It was so powerful that I just continued using it. But at some point I told myself, what is that? And people, of course, start, you know, mentioning there are hundreds of millions of damage. I mean, wow, nice. So you can one-shot everything. You don't even need to reach that amount in order to one-shot bosses here, even the toughest bosses. So it doesn't really matter if you did like 60, 70, 100, 200, 300 million. It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, maybe for some who just want some bragging rights of how they can actually create a very powerful build. You know, that, although again, this is not the only option to deal lots of damage. Yeah, I create a build with Verso that is not as powerful than Miles. I mean, there are ways, like the developer mentioned, to break the game, but no doubt the Stendhal was kind of standing out as very powerful, and relatively early on you can take advantage of it. So if you discover something later on that is powerful close to the end part of the game, fine, but if you can relatively early get so powerful, this can basically ruin the experience for players because they're just so tempted to actually use it, and the developer didn't want to put them in the situation where they cannot say no to this offer. In other words, they unintentionally gave the players an offer that they cannot refuse. Well, at least they put them in a situation like that. So I can understand both the player's perspective, who don't mind having it or actually want something like that, and the developer's perspective, think it's just too strong, especially relatively early on, and some players will just want to experience the game because they would find it very hard to stop using such powerful skill, or let's say a build, if you combine it with something that can really one-shot everything relatively early. Some people don't care about the outcome of this, but some are. Those who care won't actually use this because they're just sabotaging their enjoyment of the game. So although it's very easy to just not use it, it feels bad because sometimes you want to use a skill because it's a really nice skill, but you won't use it because it's broken. Because you need to tone it down, so you need to play with certain builds to make your build less powerful, and it's a very awkward situation. There are so many situations in this game where I told myself, alright, I need to tone things down. I mean, why do I need to do that? It feels just bad that I need to think about how to become less powerful so I won't get to a point where I can just one-shot enemies every single time. And if I am getting to a situation like that, I need to work for it and find something that's more complicated to do, and I be able to get to it. And usually it's going to be after I find more things in the game and be able to create a powerful build for it. Anyway, there are different ways to look at it, but what are your thoughts? Single player, who cares? Or this is something that developers should have done to fix this? I think this is going to be in the upcoming update. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.